Hey everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to get set up to build tables dynamically or via data-driven process. So what we need to do is we need to set up a lot of abstract information, databases that aren't really databases, datasets that aren't really datasets, before we can actually create the code that will generate our tables. Now, in this video, you will have a quick keynote to kind of lay out the scope, what is happening, what different subjects are being used. And then I'll go into the Excel sheet that I normally go into, and there's actually a piece of code in the description that will help you format your names so you can get a head start. So yeah, hope you enjoy, and I'll see you after the title. Alright, so dynamically building a table, or building a table via data-driven process, is a pretty complicated thing. It reaches quite a few tables, and I'll explain each of these tables' purposes in this quick keynote. So we're dealing with the database, dataset, data point, and the subject and system relationship tables. So first, the database. We actually have to create a new realm, class, family, type, and base to signal that we need a placeholder for a database, but it's not really a database. And this is something that we can actually do, and because we're giving it a realm of abstract, it's not going to intersect our relational or our non-relational or unstructured, whatever we want to call those. It's not going to affect the databases that we currently have. So in each of these tables, I had created one of, in realm, I created the abstract and class the common under abstract, not applicable for family under class of common under realm of abstract, all the way down. So this will let us associate a database to a data set template, which is what we're going to use to dynamically build it. Now the subject, what will drive our data-driven process, like let's say I'm going to type message inside of subject and classify it under the right family, that contains the actual database ID, so we don't have to worry too much about that. This, the database record is specifically for being able to create templated data set. So the data set, I also created a realm called abstract and a class common under that realm, a family of table under common, and I almost duplicated my normal table types. So there's a realm, class, family, type, RCFT, and to relationship right now, and they are under the abstract database ID that I had just shown in the previous couple slides. And you'll notice the base actually has tokens built into it. Now this is where we're going to start being able to create custom table names using this data-driven technique. So instead of having this giant script for every single type of table that we want, we're just building that script on the fly. And the subject, because of the key name, in the subject, we can easily get from subject to dataset. But if the dataset is that we're trying to create is base, that is where our separation takes place. So if we're trying to create a base dataset, we tell this process, hey, create a base dataset. The process is going to go to the subject table and figure out, is this an RCFT shape? Is this a relationship shape? Is this a shared attribute event shape? Like, what shape is this? And it'll continue. So that's where we can get our dynamic lower level table created the way that we want it to. Now for data point, it follows the same kind of pattern as dataset. Well, we created these abstract data sets. Now we can create data points under it. So all we had to do was grab, any current table that we have that's a realm and fill it in, make sure that we are tokenizing them appropriately. And I'll show you a script out for this on how I did that. But we create tokenized data points under the data set that we had just created, our weird tokenized data set, and that is almost the entire process. The last process is the inclusion of a parent ID. Well, dataset has a database ID, subject has a database ID. Well, how do we know that? So to to programmatically check for that, I just created a relationship subject to subject, and I give it a different class because we've always been using functional, like this is a functional relationship. The definitions are attached here, not for an organizational structure, which is what we're talking about now, but for a functional structure. This has a specific function to it. This is legitimately an organizational structure. So the only data that I had to add to the system relationship table was, our pre-existing subject IDs, database dataset, database to subject, database to process, system to database, dataset to data point, and process to process parameter in that relationship table. And any new relationships that we create that do have parents that are not taxonomy IDs, we will just have to make sure to add them to the subject table, then add the relationship here, press a button, and presto, our tables are created. So that is it for this keynote, and I will show you a little bit about the code on how I generated this data and the Google Sheets. All right, so from easiest to understand the subject relationship, all I did was copy all my subject information that I had in my subject table, pasted it here, and organized them with the specific dataset number and the ID. Same old, copy a row from system relationship, update the type ID, and make sure that our parent and child information match. We didn't need a sequence because it's a direct organizational relationship. If we did a descendant or ancestor instead of a direct relationship, we would want to fill out the sequence to gauge how far away that relationship is. Then for the new data sets, basically just did this where REL, this is our relationship dataset type. We got our realm class family type, and we got our normal base, which will support, GRP group or MSG message, whatever we want. It has the abbreviation in here just in case it changes. Right now, I know we're only working on reference data, but preparing for the future. And for data point, it was really easy. I believe I used definition because, specific dataset number, there's a dataset word in there. I didn't want to find and replace, but I used definition, and I got the realm class family type, subject, and I got the realm class family type for subject, and I just made sure I replaced the word subject with subject name. And this is all the realm class family type columns associated with our new IDs. You can see they are changing slowly. And then I forgot which one I grabbed, but I grabbed a table that had a parent in it, so I could do the same thing, replace the actual subject with subject name. And then I manually updated these two pieces of information because we want to fill in the parent abbreviation. And for the relationship, that was pretty easy. We only have one relationship, so I was able to replace system relationship with subject name. Now I actually have a query that I wrote, and I'll paste this in the description if you guys like, just because this is kind of how I started to replace it or set up my information. So let's comment this out. We have subject, and I'll talk in reverse. So this was my system relationship table that I just commented out, and these were the data point names, data point type IDs, the original sequence, and the replace statement basically set me up so I could copy this information and paste it in my Excel document with the sequence and everything. So it was in order. Let me go back. All right. So for subject, let me drop this down and uncomment this. Actually, it is the whole thing. So for subject, it was the same thing where subject got replaced. Actually, I left that uncommented too. I apologize. Run it again. There we go. where we replace the word subject with subject name token just to get our information. So this was a bulk of the work, just getting that realm class family type and base done. And yeah, this is what I did, because then I manually updated database ID, which was its parent. So that was basically it for the setup, and just pasting everything back into our tables to get ready for the next video, which is using this data to dynamically build our tables. And here's the sequence. So thank you very much for watching. Remember, like this video and YouTube will recommend it to other users in our industry, and subscribe to support me. I will see you next time.